This is a guts video on an old Napco Mark 3000 alarm system telephone dialer that I found in a neighbor's basement that was unused and had been so for a long time. The purpose of a unit of this nature was that it was connected across, or was connected to the telephone line, and in the event of an alarm condition of some description, this would call a pre-designated number with a certain message warning house is being broken into, blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah, and that message would be pre-recorded on this tape. And as you can see from the construction, it is a single direction continuous loop type tape, kind of like an 8-track. And you can also see, looking at the transport mechanism, why this was probably not in service, because the mechanism graunched the tape right there. It looks to be standard 1/4-inch audio cassette tape. There's the solenoid that actuates the tape transport mechanism. This bit of shielded cable which connects to the magnetic head there, and there's this thingy which looks to be, from what I can determine, it's some kind of a tape presence thing by these pair of connectors that are in contact with the tape, or these contacts that are touching the tape, and I don't know, the given resistance of the path is predetermined, and if it exceeds that, it means something's, or if it goes outside of that given resistance range, it means something's wrong. I don't really know. I haven't found any documentation on this because, I don't know. But, get out of here. There's a pair of relays there. This, which is the impedance matching transformer that connects to the voice line. And judging by the lack of a DC blocking capacitor to keep the transformer, or the telephone line side of the transformer from shorting out the 50-volt DC on-hook signal that is present on a telephone line that isn't in use, it's connected through this relay when the thing is making a call. So, which is pretty much what you'd expect, because otherwise this stuff wouldn't be connecting if it weren't. It wouldn't be connected if it didn't need to do anything. But again, pair of PCB mount relays, a transistor marked 3055, and Napco, of course, the manufacturer. That's probably a 213055, fairly standard NPN power transistor, a couple of electrolytics. This rotary switch, which is the off-on test, because it's got, again, off and on. That's also got a test thing, so you can check what the message on the unit is. And there's this, again, immediate light just to say that the thing's working. That shines through a little plastic lens mounted in the outer box for this. And just a bunch of passives. This thing, which is a, according to the controls, it's an channel A auto abort switch, which is, I guess, something that if, because it's got a two channel A and channel B to trigger an alarm condition, if the fault is cleared, then it just automatically stops sending out the message. That's the playback speaker for checking the message. Again, passives, diodes, stuff like that one, which is unpopulated. That's simply a it's what that is that's connected to the hot on the 12-volt side of the 12-volt DC supply, because it's got 12-volt DC and 12-volt AC. The AC is connected here and goes over to the Gradients bridge formed by those rectifiers there. And that pretty much shorts it out, so I'd imagine that's intended to blow a fuse in the external 12-volt supply. Although, we're designing, it wouldn't expect it to have a fuse here in case it was connected to an unfused supply, but then again, I don't know, I didn't design the thing. And there's various things like, over here is where the telephone is connected to, I think, channel 8, channel 9, and channel 10. Yeah. Channel 8 and channel 9 is voice, and channel 8 and channel 10 are connector 8 and connector 10 are dial, so I think this might have an external dialer. Obviously, there's no integrated circuits on this. It's just discrete transistors, so there wouldn't be a built-in DTMF or pulse dialer. Considering the age of the things, 1970s, pulse dialing was, I'd imagine, somewhat common then, although I don't know, I wasn't alive back then, so I don't know. So I'd imagine that this thing would be connected to an external dialer, or it might be pre-recorded on the tape. I don't know. Again, don't have any documentation on this thing whatsoever. And just more transistors, including this round epoxy can with gold leads. That's a very old transistor package. So again, this thing is probably 1970s, because you did see that then occasionally. Although, of course, there's also the more modern TO92 package right there. And on the underside, there's just a bunch of solder joints. There's a bodge resistor there, and a bodge capacitor there, which is connected across that, if I can see there, it is connected across that blue diode right there. So I'd imagine that is probably a Zener diode or an avalanche diode, because when conducting, or at least when reverse conducting in breakdown, those do generate electromagnetic garbage, so that capacitor would of course be to short that out so it wouldn't interfere with the rest of the circuit. And this tape drive motor, flywheel for the capstan, and the underside of the solenoid. Those two things, which are the connections to the two things which are marked as fingers on the board there. So that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to see. Just pretty much an amplifier and a telephone interface circuit, pretty much. Nothing super fancy.